Hiya, welcome to my Compound Life. I am Jonathan. This is a channel where we build assets, we build habits, and of course we build freedom. That will be financial freedom for you, me, and anyone else that watches my video. How are you guys today? How's everyone doing? Must be difficult looking at Bitcoin price continuously going down, right? Yeah, I've even checked on my comments section earlier, you know. I mean, it's kind of like a mixed feeling, like looking at comment section within the community. I think some are very excited that we're heading into a bear market. For sure, at least I'm kind of excited about it because this is the time, guys. This is the time that we can start to accumulate. But at the same time, I think I do see some mixed comment. People might be frightened. There was even one comment, see you in 4 years' time. Okay, so here's the thing, guys, right? Personally, myself, right? So this is my third cycle, okay? So my first two cycles, so my first cycle, I bought some Bitcoin, right? And during that time, Bitcoin was pretty high. I can't remember how much, but it was only in the thousands of dollars. Okay, so I bought some during the peak, and then I kind of dollar cost average almost on a weekly basis, and then each week I dollar cost average, it goes down even further, right? So in the end, I did it for about a month or so. In the end, I just closed my portfolio. I mean, not close it down, close the account down. I mean, I'll just never look at my portfolio again until 4 years later, the second cycle kicks in, right? And then obviously the second cycle kicked in. I kind of reopened up my portfolio. I was like, shit, right? A lot of my crypto, a lot of my Bitcoin, it was many times more than what I've invested, right? So on that specific cycle, the fact that I've also missed out the bear cycle, I never accumulated more, right? So that was the regret, okay? So I told myself, Jonathan, this is a very important asset that I need to consider, right? And I told myself essentially to stick with the 4 years cycle, right? So in the past few educational video, I kind of said to you guys, if your portfolio suck right now, right? If you don't have the immediacy to need to sell off to cover for your expenses or anything as such, right? You just hodl it. You just hold on to your portfolio now for at least 4 years period of time, okay? So a huge lesson I've learned, right? You don't want to leave. You don't want to leave when it's the beginning of the bear market. Okay, I know it's frightening. Looking at your portfolio, it's depressing looking at your portfolio. I've got a viewer, I'm sure he or she may have bought Bitcoin at about 120,000. That was the peak, right? Do I want to go this way? Yeah, sorry, just doing some maneuvering. So the portfolio must have been down like 50,000 because Bitcoin is, you know, down by about $50,000, right? Must be so frightening. But I think this specific viewer continued to DCA, right? And he or she is doing the right thing, right? Because DCA is definitely the right approach, right? But one thing that I've also learned, because in my first cycle, I bought too many altcoins, shit coins. Even until today, right? All of this shit coin continue to bleed. They never went up to, above the last all-time high, right? So every now and then, if I get to cash out, or pivot that into Bitcoin or rotate that into Bitcoin, I'll do that, right? So hopefully many of you guys that watches my channel, watches my video, your portfolio is not down too much because of altcoins, right? And going through the cycle, the only coins, the only tokens that you want to hold will be Bitcoin. The rest will continue to bleed. Don't take any of the suggestion, the hypes from influencers out there telling you, hey, this would be the next pumping altcoin. This would be the next best project. This will be the next best meme coin, right? These are all fake. Because many of these coins will have some good pump, but for a short period of time, it doesn't deserve to be in your portfolio for the longer term. Especially for my compound life, this kind of portfolio. So I don't take too much risk, right? I take calculated risk, and Bitcoin is definitely one calculated risk that I'm willing to hold on to for a longer period of time, and not the other alts. The reason that I haven't sold too much alt because I was expecting a altcoin season, altcoin rally for this time round. However, we never have that, right? Unfortunately, we never have an altcoin rally, so it's disappointing. But I still managed to sell some Ethereum, and that one I think, when Bitcoin further dips a little bit, I'm gonna start to DCA in. Okay, so I was looking at all the theory now because it does seem what's happening right now, weekends. Okay, it's terrible for me every time to call people weekends or diamond hand, right? But it does seem people that doesn't have too much conviction on Bitcoin right now, they're all selling, right? And whomever that knows the game really well, the institution, the people, the OGs, it does seem many of these are the OGs buying the dip right now, okay? And I've been on the video, a lot of my videos saying that, hey, for Bitcoin, it takes approximately 12 months to 15 months to get to the bottom. Every single Bitcoin cycle, it takes from all-time high 12 to 15 months to get to the bottom, right? That's what I've been telling you guys all the time. So the recent all-time high is sometime on the 8th of October, and my natural assumption would be Bitcoin probably bottom somewhere in October, November this year, 2026. However, I'm also having another theory now because look at Binance. Look at, like Binance changing their SAFU fund from holding stablecoin like USDC, USDT, rotating that into Bitcoin. Of course, they're not rotating it immediately for that $1 billion worth. What they're doing, they're rotating every 2 days. So I think they did that 100 million about 3 days ago, another 100 million yesterday, and then I think they'll continue to do so. And what they pledge would be every time if this SAFU, SAFU fund, right, which is like a FU fund, dips below 1 billion, they will continue to top it up for Bitcoin, right? So essentially, what they're doing, swap all the US stablecoin into Bitcoin in a period of bear market, right? Because bear market, it's the best time to accumulate Bitcoin. And it makes total sense. Who wants to hold more US dollar now, right? Even, recently, Japan has to sell off a lot of US bonds because of the carry trade and the Japanese bond yield increasing. Why hold risky US bonds, US dollars, when the Japanese yield is a lot more higher, right? I think US, they pissed off Europe, right? They pissed Keir Starmer off. The next thing could be Europe starts to want to sell bonds, right? That will affect the US dollars. And all of a sudden, maybe China wants to sell more US bonds, right? So, in a way, holding US dollars now is not going to be good, right? So that's why it makes total sense. A lot of wealthy individual, probably, they may still well continue to get back into gold because gold definitely is more safer, right? So this is why I kind of thought, hey, if I wait until November this year to start my DCA, would that be at risk, right? Because it does seem the fact that we haven't had a parabolic move for Bitcoin and there weren't any alt season, right? And also the fact that I've looked at chart earlier for the last cycle, it took about 30 weeks from the top to get to 200 weeks moving average, right? And then the last cycle, it took about 60 weeks. I can't remember exactly, right? And so far, we are only about 17, 19 weeks from the top and very, very near to the 20 weeks moving average, right? So this is why I'm kind of thinking maybe, perhaps we haven't had the parabolic move, right? And for Bitcoin to get to that level, 200 weeks moving average can be very fast, right? And with the fueling of ISM cycle, yada, 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 right? Perhaps this bear cycle drawdown will not be as steep. Perhaps, I'm just thinking out loud, perhaps this bear cycle will not be as long as what it used to be, right? So that's why I kind of felt if I have to do dollar cost average, right, maybe 200 weeks moving average would be kind of like a good indicator for me to re-enter the market. Re-enter in such a way that I continue to go. Come on, go. Guys, go. Please, go. Yeah, so that would be a good time to re-enter the market. If it does bottom even more, that's good. That's always good, right? Then I'll just continue my daily DCA from November onwards, right? Guys, not financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube looking at charts all day round, planning how should I deploy my cash, deploy my stable coin to maximize my Bitcoin holding, which, by the way, Bitcoin isn't my main source of income. Because imagine I have to rely on Bitcoin for my main source of income. That would be pretty fearful for myself because because I need regular income to come in, right? So properties, real estates are my actual real income, right? I do some consulting work, etc. But Bitcoin gives me growth, gives me growth, abundance of growth in a short period of time that I can utilize that to pay off more of my properties. And then having more cash for my properties enables me to buy more Bitcoin, right? So that's how I roll, right? So so certainly a lot of things I say are not financial advice, guys. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go into more details on the chart, and then maybe I'll add that in today's Bitcoin Daily video and share with you guys. But in the meantime, I reckon, guys, this is don't leave, right? If you want to leave after 12 to 18 months, right? Leave when we are getting into the bull trend, the bull phase of Bitcoin, because I don't want you guys to make the same mistake as I did. It took me 2 cycles to learn this, and I hope some of you will watch my video and learn about it and just follow it through, because always coming back at the peak of the market, at the bull trend of the market, it's not good indication of good investment, guys, right? So bear that in mind. Yeah, so if you like the video, just remember to hit like, hit subscribe. I drop Bitcoin video almost on a daily basis, sometimes multiple videos too, right? So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Oh, let me know in the comment section where you guys watching from. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Bye.